Hey guys, I haven't been active in a while. Anyways, today I'm reading Costume Critiques Chapter 4 because I realized I didn't podfic that part and I want to podfic it. So I'm going to podfic it. Ow. I popped my finger. Sorry. um, Hold on. I have to get to Chapter 4 because I just opened AO3. Okay. So I love this chapter and I think you will too. Oh, my notes on this chapter were I'm back because I hadn't. Yeah, this was updated in March. Oh my god, I took such a long break. Anyways, guys, I'm still writing chapter. Actually, did I finish chapter 5? I think I might have finished chapter 5 and not posted it. Or maybe I'm lying to myself. No, I found a name for chapter 5. I have not started it. I will start it soon, I promise. Anyways, again, Costume Critiques, Chapter 4. Yeah, I'm gonna start reading before I yap too much. Anyways, Chapter 4, Cat Cafe. Izuku and Mei walked into the packed cat cafe. The hostess greeted them. Welcome, she exclaimed. I hope you don't mind sharing a table with a stranger. We're kind of full right now, but if you prefer a table to yourselves, the wait will be a bit long. Mei looked at Izuku and he nodded. We're fine with sitting with someone else, he said, smiling. Gives us a chance to make new friends. Wonderful, she exclaimed. How long did you two want? 2 hours, please, Mei said, taking out her wallet. Okay, she said, before taking Mei's card and swiping it. You're all set. Just follow me and I'll show you to your table. The two teens followed her to a table with two other people seated. One was an adult male. He had long black hair, a black jumpsuit, and a gray scarf. He looked like a racerhead. The other person was a teenager. He had gravity-defying purple hair and pronounced eye bags. Hello, Aizawa-kun and Hitoshi-kun. Since our cafe's pretty full, we're starting to sit people with others instead of on their own. Would it be okay if these two sit with you guys? The hostess asked. The dark-haired man, who was definitely a racerhead if his name Aizawa had anything to say about it, turned his head to look at Izuku and Mei before nodding. That's fine, Komiko-kun, he said, scooting over slightly in his booth. Great! You two can take a seat and I'll get your orders in a minute, the hostess, Komiko, said. Izuku and Mei sat down. Izuku next to Eraserhead and Mei next to Hitoshi. We're not going to get to that topic anymore, are we, Izuku? Mei asked, sighing. Sorry, Mei, but I don't think we'll get to talk about the support suggestions for a little while, Izuku said, scratching the back of his neck. Support suggestions? Hitoshi asked, taking a sip of his drink, probably coffee. Yeah, support gear. I'm trying to get into UA's hero course, and May's trying to get into the support course. So she's been trying to find things that she thinks I could use for my costume. My mom designed for me to improve it, Izuku said. Oh, you're trying to get into UA's hero course too? Hitoshi asked, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, you are too? Izuku asked, excitedly. He hadn't had anyone besides Mei, Kachan, and his parents to talk about UA with. Yeah, but I have a mental quirk, so I'm training really hard to get a spot, Hitoshi said, a determined look behind his stoic expression. Izuku smiled. I know what you mean. I'm starting training tomorrow with my dad. I don't have a quirk, so I'm at a bit of a disadvantage compared to the others, Izuku said, rubbing the back of his neck. The two men froze and turned their heads to look at him. You're quirkless? The man, Eraserhead, asked. Yes, Izuku said, giving him a small smile. Wow, Hitoshi said, smiling slightly. That's amazing. Izuku smiled. They were just surprised. They weren't quirk discriminators. What's your quirk? You said it's a mental quirk. What is it? Izuku decided to ask, still smiling. Hitoshi seemed to freeze as he glanced at Eraserhead. The man gave him an almost imperceptible shrug. He said, not daring to look up from his cup of coffee. My quirk's called brainwashing. I can make people do whatever I want if they give me a verbal response to a question. Izuku smiled wide. That's amazing, he said, forcing himself not to bounce up and down. What are its limitations? How do you normally use it? How long does it last? Can you give long-term commands? Like, if you want someone to do something in, say, an hour, would you be able to give them that command and then they do it when it's the time you told them? Or, oh, there are so many cool things that you can do with a quirk like yours. I can't ramble. I'm sorry, guys. Both men were shocked silent. They stared at the boy, like he'd said he was a Greek god and just moved the sun to prove it. He hadn't, of course, but that's the only analogy I can come up with right now, so deal with it. And yes, I could have said that it looked like he just hung the stars, but I didn't, because that is kind of overused, and I wanted to be original. Sorry, Izuku said, very unapologetically. I start rambling when I find a really cool quirk. Sorry if it weirded you out. No, Hitoshi said, quickly, waving his hands in front of him. We're just surprised since most people don't accept people with quirks considered villainous. Izuku leaned back in his chair and sighed. I'm gonna throw a javelin at someone's head. Madam President? May asked, and Izuku nodded. That's a good idea, actually, he said, pulling out his phone. Why do you want to throw a javelin at Madam President? Eraserhead asked, mildly concerned. Oh, she's a bitch, May supplied. One of Izuku's hero friends was hurt by her, so we want to show her that she can't do that. We're just joking about the javelin, though. Maybe. Eraserhead sighed. Izuku giggled. Hawks, he said through giggles. What about Hawks? Eraserhead asked, narrowing his eyes. He's the hero who Madam President hurt, he said, pulling something up on his phone to show Eraser. Here, he said, handing Eraser his phone. This is live footage of Hawks while he's doing his training. Eraser and Hitoshi watched as Hawks beat a dummy, and then was beaten by Madam President herself. There was no audio, but they could read lips. Faster, she demanded. If you're not faster, people will die. You don't want that, do you, Hawks? Hawks shook his head before he was thrown into the wall. He hit his head. She yelled something at him, but neither of them could read her lips. Izuku reached for his phone, and Eraser gave it back. This is the reason I hate her, and when May saw this, she started hating her too, Izuku said, pocketing his phone. How long have you two been friends? Hitoshi asked, tilting his head. Me and May or me and Hawks? Izuku asked, smiling. Both, Hitoshi decided after a short pause. May and I just met yesterday. My father and her father had some business things to take care of with support items, and I met Hawks a couple of years ago when my father did an analysis on him. That was 4 years ago, so I met him when I was 10. Izuku said, smiling at the two men in front of him. That would make Hawks, what, 17? Eraser asked, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, Madam President ordered for him to get a quirk analysis, and he chose to have my father do it, Izuku said, innocently. I'm concerned, Hitoshi said, sighing. You probably should be, Izuku said, giggling. He looked to his left and saw someone he recognized. I'll be right back, he said, standing up and walking towards them. He sat across from them. Didn't think you liked cats. The man looked up at him. Yeah, and I thought you didn't like me, Dabi said, smirking. I never said I didn't like you, Izuku said, indignantly. I just said that you were being a pussy since you wouldn't go talk to your siblings. I hate you, Dabi said, taking a sip of his coffee. Sure you do. That's why you've been following me and May for the past half an hour. You suck, Dabi said, taking another sip of his coffee. And you swallow and choke when you're with Keiko, Izuku said, and Dabi did a spit take. He started choking. What the fuck? He demanded through coughs. Izuku giggled. It's true, he said, shrugging. How would you know anything about my sex life? Dabi asked, wiping his mouth. Keiko talks a lot, and I was literally in the living room of the house when you two were doing it, Izuku said, shuddering at the memory. I'm gonna kill you, Dabi said, glaring. You can try, Izuku said, shrugging before getting up and walking back to the table with May, Hitoshi, and Eraserhead. What did you say to make him take a spit take? May asked, curious. I made a joke about his and Keigo's relationship, Izuku said, sitting down next to Eraser. After that, Komiko came to take Izuku and Mei's orders since Eraser and Hitoshi already had theirs. The four of them talked and got to know each other better. Yes, they had been doing that before, but they went into more basic stuff while they had their drinks and played with the cats. Izuku and Mei and Hitoshi ended up swapping numbers. And that's the end of chapter 4. Okay, so it might, be a little while before I get the next chapter of that, because right now I'm writing a Buddy fanfic. 911, guys, you should watch it. I love Buddy. I'm on season 5 right now. Sorry, my friend texted me. I sent her a Buddy fanfic, and she says she can't figure out how to read it. She doesn't read AO3, guys. Not normally, at least. 1 second, I'm gonna respond. Yeah. Anyways, guys, yeah. I spent 6 hours reading Buddy fanfic yesterday. 6 hours. Also, it's currently 1 a.m. for me. I went to bed at 11:30 or 11:40 in the morning earlier today. 11:40 a.m. And then I woke up literally just at 10:17. That's when I woke up. Yeah, so that's fun. I slept all day because I stayed up all night yesterday. So yeah, I need to sleep, but I'm not going to sleep right now. I'm going to edit this, and then I'm going to read more Buddy fanfiction. I'm going to read a 20,000 word Buddy fanfic. It's 1 chapter, but it looks really good. It is called Thank My Lucky Stars That I Discovered You by Sergeant Chenford, Smiling Buckley, Sergeant Chenford. Those are 2 different people. There's Sergeant Chenford, and then there's Smiling Buckley, Sergeant Chenford, in parentheses. What's this one about? I forgot what this was about. It's where Buck is apparently a celebrity, and he is Eddie's celebrity crush, and then Eddie has to save him. It looks really good. So I'm excited to read it. Okay, I'm gonna help my friend figure out how to read this Buddy fanfic. It's called Frequent Flyers. You should read it. It's really good, guys. So yeah. I'm gonna go help her figure out how to read it, and then I'm gonna read fanfiction of my own. Anyways, have a good day, night, morning, evening, whatever it is for you. I'm gonna have a good night and a good morning, and probably fall asleep at 2 in the afternoon. If you can't tell, I'm on summer break, guys. Yeah. Have an awesome time. Whatever time it is for you. I'm gonna watch 911 in a bit. Bye, guys!